forever. So diving right into the NFL, we're going to talk about the biggest free, or not technically free agent, but I guess free agent head coach on the market in Sean Payton. So Sean Payton can go coach anywhere, allegedly, if the Saints give that team permission to interview him. So teams like the Broncos, Cardinals have permission. Teams that will most likely get permission, if Dallas gets bounced round one by Tom Brady, we could see Big Mike at. Seth, do you concur to that, or you think Big Mike sticks around for another year?
I doubt he gets fired. First, what is it? First back-to-back 12-win seasons, and I mean he's doing his job. Players just got to go out there and perform on the field when the bigger stages arise.
All right. We'll see. We'll see. Another place that Sean Payton could go would be back home to the New Orleans Saints, which I think is the most prominent option, right? Saints, if he goes to the Cardinals have a high overall pick, right? Like top 5, top 4. I think they have the 4th, don't they? They have a pretty high overall pick. I believe if Sean Payton were to go to coach the Cardinals, that would have to be part of the compensation, would be that overall pick.
Yeah, the Saints are going to want a first rounder for Sean Payton to be coaching next year with a different team. So, I mean, if you're a team like the Cardinals, I don't think a top 10 pick is really the move, in my opinion. But the Broncos makes sense. A late first round pick, from the 49ers, who could probably make a run, in the late 20s, maybe even 30 something if they, reach the Super Bowl. Remember, there's only 31 picks in the first round this year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Thanks to Stephen Ross.
Because of good old stooge Stephen Ross.
Yeah. So, I think Sean Payton should end up in Denver.
In Denver, huh? He had Kyler Murray scouted because they didn't think Kyler Murray was going to go first overall. So he did have Kyler Murray on a scouting report back when he was being drafted, before he obviously ran away with the Heisman. So I could see him make a move towards Arizona. Now, obviously, the building for Arizona, right? Like their off-field stuff, their training facility is kind of low tier. It's not that good of a training facility, right? Like when the coaches have to talk, it's on a massive stage. It's not on anything crazy nice. So I could see him easily not going there. Oh, much better.
Whoa. You think something like that's enough to keep a Sean Payton away? He doesn't care about that.
Absolutely. Off-field stuff is a it'd be a deal breaker for me. It's like, I got to stand over here at this little bitty podium and coach my team during team meetings. I can't be directly in front of them to go over everything I need to go over. I can't walk around in front because this TV's like 9 feet behind us or 50 feet in the air. It's like, I don't know. Being able to coach properly will probably have a lot to do with it as well.
I mean, come on. This guy's not the second coming of Bill Belichick or anything. I mean, I understand why people are going to roll out the red carpet, but geez, I mean, this guy, he had Drew Brees. He's a good coach, but people are acting like this guy's going to completely, go undefeated in his first season with his new team or something.
I mean, Payton only has what, one Super Bowl? It's like, yeah, they had a lot of successful seasons, but it's not like he's a Bill Belichick that's on the free market.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but he was the author behind like an 8-year stretch of one of the most potent and efficient offenses in the NFL.
But that didn't account to anything.
I mean,
got him a Super Bowl with a non-mobile quarterback.
John Gruden won a Super Bowl.
Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Everyone thinks he's mid-tier.
He had A-Rod.
Sean Payton had Drew Brees, allegedly better in terms of accomplishments.
Exactly. They had great quarterback. What can Sean Payton do with a below-average quarterback?
Who would be below average?
I'm asking, what could he do with? I'm not saying like he's going to a team.
He took Jameis Winston 5-2.
James Winston's a gunslinger now.
Still a below average quarterback. I mean, dude has the first 30 for 30 NFL season we've ever seen with 5,000 yards
5,000
passing.
yards. Also 5,000 yards.
Yeah,
Don't
but
forget that.
5,000 yards is like 3 years ago was a big hustle. It was a big accomplishment because there's only like 9 guys on that list.
But now Mahomes does it every year.
Yeah, we're going to see 5,000 yard seasons become the new norm. So if I had my pick, if Sean Payton doesn't come back to New Orleans, right? Obviously, as a Saints fan, I want him to go to Arizona because then New Orleans gets a high overall draft pick with a pretty juicy QB top loaded draft.
I don't think Arizona would give him a top 5er though. That's what I think. If Arizona was in the pool, they'd be like, okay, we'll give you our second.
No, there's no way. New Orleans has already stated that they won't take anything less than a first.
Okay, if the Cardinals organization gives up a number 5 pick, a top 5 pick for a coach, idiots. Idiots, like idiotic, dumbass. Like any word you can stooge, I don't know. Like they should. If I was an owner, my GM was like, we traded number 4 in the draft for Sean Payton. I'd be like, you're fired. Get the fuck out of here, and hopefully I can get my pick back. You dumbass.
Well, the owner would have to sign off on something like that because
exactly that's what I'm saying. Bring it to my office.
They have to pay Sean Payton. Well, the Cardinals are seeking permission because the owner's interested.
Well, I'm saying if it's for the 4th, though. Oh God,
I don't know,
such
dude,
a bad move. Such a bad.
So because he's still under contract, like what teams actually are going to have to give up something for him?
Yeah,
like
the Saints are basically demanding a first or a second and a player.
Fuck that, dude.
It's a first round pick or a second and a player.
Where the Broncos are done because they have no picks.
Well, they have future
they have the 49ers pick.
No, that's true. Couldn't they so what, a buyout isn't on the table either?
I mean, they could buy him out. They're not going to.
Yeah, they're gonna get what
they're gonna get what they can out of one of the top coaches in the NFL.
That's so dumb. I would not trade a player and a pick for a coach. Fuck that.
Imagine New Orleans is probably going to be looking at the defensive tackle market, so maybe edge rusher as well because we're kind of running a little thin on that portion because we don't know if Davenport's going to re-sign. So getting that first round pick from Denver or the high overall second pick from Arizona and a player, right? D-Hop's allegedly on the move. Could see that transition. D-Hop in a second, Sean Payton to Arizona. Now, obviously, D-Hop has $17 million a year left on his contract for 2 years. So we'd probably have to give up a player as well, like a washed Mike T, who ain't even stepping foot on the field. But he did just restructure his contract to either be traded or to play next season.
Washed Mike T.
Have you seen him on the field, Barrett? I have not.
No, I have not. No.
The dude's robbing us like Will Fuller robbed you guys.
Dude. Yeah, and Byron Jones.